So at the time of recording, WWDC is 11 days away, and the hype is building up, and obviously in terms of hardware, we're expecting the M1X MacBook Pro and the M1X Mac Mini. But today I want to delve into another hardware release we can expect at the event, and that is a successor to the Thunderbolt display. Right, so let's delve into why I think we could see this display launch at WWDC. And there's really three main points. Number one, Sam from the Genius Bar podcast said a source had told him that we can expect this display at WWDC. Though do note, apparently the source has no credibility whatsoever, so take the information with a grain of salt. However, number two, John Prosser in a recent FPT episode where he delved into the M1X Max mentioned there was a hint in the video somewhere regarding another hardware release. Now I watched the video again and again and again, and I analyzed it, and I really couldn't find much apart from this one little tidbit where he said we can expect the MacBook Pro and MacBook Pro related products. And that got me thinking, because what other MacBook related products is there apart from an external display that you can use with your new MacBook? So yes, I'm pretty sure that John is referring to this display launching at WWDC, and I think it does make a ton of sense because when they're releasing a machine like the Mac Mini which has no display, releasing a new consumer level $1,000 display alongside it makes so much sense, and obviously developers are more inclined to buy an external display for their workflow, and so yes, I do think it's a logical thing for Apple to release at the event. And the final tidbit that refers to this display launching very soon is the fact the LG Ultrafine 4K display is not available to buy in any Apple store across Europe. Now that's pretty interesting because, in case you don't know, the Ultrafine display was essentially the Thunderbolt display's replacement. It's an LG display but with the calibration, colors, and brightness that mimics the iMac, and so this is what the Apple display will be replacing, and if the LG Ultrafine is gone, that clearly indicates the launch of the successor is pretty soon. Right, so let's now delve into the features and specs of this Apple display, and we don't know much apart from this one article from Mark Gurman that revealed a few tidbits. Right, so according to Mark Gurman, this should be exactly the same as the Pro Display XDR in terms of looks, so the super thin bezels and the weird pattern on the back, but you don't get the mini LED panel. Instead, the display will be geared towards consumer use than professional use, and so the brightness and colors and contrast ratio won't be as good as the Pro Display XDR. Now this actually is not a bad thing at all, because for most people the Pro Display XDR is overkill. It has 1600 nits of brightness with an astonishing 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. So yeah, it's pretty insane for most people, and so I do expect this cheaper display to be on par with the new iMac. So 500 nits of brightness, a 4.5K LCD Retina display, and a P3 wide color gamut. And well, if the reviews of the 24-inch iMac are to be believed, then yeah, this display is gonna look absolutely great and is gonna be more than fine for most people. Now Gurman mentions nothing about the display size, and I'm also not sure about the display size because the older Thunderbolt display was 27 inches, mirroring the bigger iMac. But obviously I don't think the 27-inch size will live on. Instead, I'm expecting the bigger iMac to be around 30 to 32 inches, and I don't think Apple wants to make this cheaper display that big because of course the Pro Display XDR is around that size, and I don't think Apple wants to make this cheaper display on par with the bigger display in terms of size. And so yeah, I do think this might be 24 inches, much like the new iMac, and of course, the outgoing LG Ultrafine display. Now the final thing to discuss is price, and well, I'm not really sure about this because obviously the older Thunderbolt display was around $1,000, but the LG Ultrafine display was $700. And so Apple could really go either way. They're not gonna lie, if the design is near identical to the Pro Display XDR, which by the way is $6,000, then I can definitely see Apple charging a minimum of $1,000 or maybe even more for this display. Oh, and also I don't think the Pro Display stand is coming to this Apple display because it would be kind of dumb to charge $1,000 for the screen and the stand. That just makes no sense to me, so yeah, I'm expecting the stand from the iMac to come over to this Apple display. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we know so far, but let me know in the comments below if Apple was to give this consumer level product white bezels, would that put you off from buying this Apple display? Anyways, thank you for watching, make sure to like and subscribe. For the latest Apple news and rumors, check out the video in the icon above about details on iOS 15, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, peeps!